Alright guys, Epic fucking Slayers here, welcome back to a brand new Division video. So with 1.8 fast approaching, I thought it would be a good idea to go over some of the best weapons and gear loadouts with those weapons in the game right now, and just to see if anything really changes in 1.8. Of course there are a lot of changes coming, but I think it's important for you guys to know exactly what are the best PvE and PvP builds leading up to the new resistance mode and the new skirmish mode, so that's what we're going to do in this video. Before we get in this video, I just want to apologise about my lack of content on the Division recently. I really have been struggling in the game with the RPM glitch, which hopefully will be fixed tomorrow along with all the other glitches, and of course the shock turrets in PvP. I am trying to get back on track with 1.8 coming out soon. I will be releasing a lot more content when 1.8 comes out. But for now, we will just look at the best PvP and PvE builds so that you are prepared for 1.8 in a little while. If you could drop a like on the video, it would be much appreciated. Looking for about 300 likes. I realise that's quite a high goal since I've been away for a while, but if we can do that, that'll be great. If you are new to my channel and enjoy either the Division or Destiny 2 content, then please subscribe now. And with that said, let's get into it. So guys, this is the weapon of choice, the MG5 and the build that I've been running with. And we'll go over the weapon first and then follow on with the build itself. Now this is a very strong PvP and PvP combination, especially for DPS. This will be very good in skirmish and it will also be good in resistance. It's got fairly good survivability, but it's got really strong DPS, which is very important. So let's just go over the MG5 itself. Now this LMG has to be the best LMG in the game. And actually LMGs are going to be getting buffed in 1.8, so this will be even stronger than it is now. I think this actually be one of the meta weapons, at least in 1.8, because it's already quite strong at the moment. So as you can see, base damage of 19.5k, which is relatively low, but with that said, we've got 30% damage to targets out of cover, which makes this actually a lot stronger. Now if we look at the talents, those are very important, of course. We've got Adept on here, and we've got Deadly, and we've also got Destructive. Now Adept and Deadly obviously work very well together. I'm not sure, but I think Adept might be getting fixed in 1.8, but for now I don't think it is. So with Adept, you can actually stack that up to 5 times if you've got the right skill haste. You're going to want to get your skill haste to 50%, which I'll show you in a minute. And with that, you are going to be getting really high crit chance. So of course, Deadly works really well with it. And then we've got Destructive as the final talent. Now if you're running this for PvP, you probably want something like Responsive here as opposed to Destructive. But if you're wanting this for, say, PvE, then I'd probably roll away Deadly and have Ferocious on there. And then you've got yourself a pretty strong MG5. Now the way I've actually modded this is for crit damage, of course, because that's really important here. If we go to the grip, I've actually gone for a little bit of reload speed here. And then my mag, I've gone for magazine size, crit damage and rate of fire. And again, that's very, very important. Having a high mag with this is important, especially for PvE. So moving on to the build itself, you are going to be wanting to go for skill haste as much as you can. You're going to want to cap, as you can see, at 50% here. That's what you want. That's really, really important. And the reason being is that because your abilities, you want them to cool down as quickly as you can, just so that you can stack that Adept. Now, I normally run Scrambler Pulse here, which is a cooldown of 22.90 seconds. You could run Recon Pack, which is 17.2 seconds, if you're not very good at actually getting the timing right on those stacks. But I find that running Scrambler is much better, and it works well with Booster Shot, which is 22.9 seconds as well. And again, that's very important. You could actually use Overdose heal if you want a much bigger heal, but it just means you really have to be on point with those stacks, and I find Booster Shot is actually much better. So let's move on to the gear itself. As you can see, 2-piece Banshee, 2-piece Lone Star, 1-piece Tacticians. I'm pretty sure you've seen this build before, but I just want to reiterate this to you guys because this is one of the strongest builds that you're going to get in PvP and PvE with an LMG. And of course, we're running probably my favourite exotic now, which is the Ninja Bike Backpack. So with the 1 piece here of Banshee, or at least the Banshee Shadow Armor, we're going to be getting 3 pieces out of Ninja. We're going to get an extra 10% damage to targets out of cover. And of course, if you add that to the LMG talent, we're actually getting 23% damage to targets out of cover. If we're in last stand, probably 25%, because I believe the damage to targets out of cover on the LMGs goes up to 15%. So as you can see with this piece here, we've got health, skill haste, of course, very important, and ammo capacity. This is actually really good in the Dark Zone as well, guys. Let's not forget that. So health, skill haste, ammo capacity, and we've got firearms, and I'm modding this with firearms mod in skill haste, and then we've got a prototype electronics mod into skill power. So with the mods themselves, I'll just briefly tell you guys, with the mods themselves, you want 4, I believe, skill haste mods, and then you want 1 of whatever you want, and hence why I've gone for electronics mod with skill power here. Now moving on to the mask, it's a Lone Star mask, it's firearms and it's skill power. Now one of the other major attributes which is important is crit chance, but I thought actually skill power is more important with this as opposed to crit chance, because really you're going to be getting that crit chance from Adept, you don't really need it anywhere else, and having an extra 10,000 skill power is pretty nice to have. Now moving on to the one-piece Tactician's Authority here, of course 2 pieces with Ninja Bike, we're getting that 15% skill haste, which of course is very important. It's rolled into electronics, it's got health, blind death resistance, shock resistance, and disorient resistance. Shock resistance being very important in this meta. Shock turrets galore every fucking where. Oh my god. So having shock resistance is really important. Although, saying that, I still don't really think it makes much difference, to be honest. I still get shocked and I'm still stood there for a good hour before I can get out of it or do anything. And by then, I'm getting shot down by the RPM glitch. Which, of course, if you've not seen the 1.71 patch notes, will be getting fixed tomorrow. And that includes gear and mods, because I've seen people commenting saying that the RPM glitch is getting fixed, but what about the other glitches? Well, actually, the gear mods and all that sort of stuff, they all use the same sort of method. So I assume they're just going to actually fix the method, which is very good. Now, anyway, back to the video. Moving on to the Ninja Bike Messenger Bag. As you can see here, skill haste, we've got first aid self-heal, which again is very important. Now, the major attribute of health and then ammo capacity, you kind of want health where you can get it on the major attributes, because it's kind of best in slot, to be honest, and it does make a difference. Otherwise, you will get melted pretty quickly, I can promise you that. Now, moving on to the gloves themselves, we've got LMG damage, crit damage, skill haste. These are god roll gloves for this build. Now, I've had gloves like this before, but it was crit chance instead of the crit damage. That extra 16% crit damage makes a massive difference on this build. LMG damage, and of course you got the highest 9% skill haste rolled into firearms. And then lastly, moving on to my classified Lone Star holster. Unfortunately, I haven't got a full classified set yet, but I am working towards it. As you can see, firearms 1394, stamina 1366, and then electronics 1294. And we've got skill haste on there. And lastly, as you can see, the performance mod of 6% first aid heal. So with this build, you are getting crazy numbers, guys, because of Banshee 3-piece. You're getting 10% damage to targets out of cover, and then if you couple that with the LMG talent here, then you're actually getting 23% to damage targets out of cover. This is not a cover-based game, so most of the time in PvP, enemies will be out of cover, so you are going to be getting the full amount of damage there. And with Lone Star, you're getting 100% ammo capacity. You're also getting 8% LMG damage. The only big change I would make here is actually to my secondary. I wouldn't run a sniper. Again, guys, they are being fixed tomorrow as well. Hopefully they are fixed. I'd actually run a shotgun. Why not? Because you're getting that extra 8% damage. It makes a difference. I'll be running this Super 90, which has got Adept, Deadly, and Fierce. Of course, with this, the only thing I'd change out is Fierce for Responsive, because you're only really going to be using this in PvP. With that said, I've seen people run this in PvE and absolutely melt through content. So, yeah, it's entirely up to you, but I'd probably run a shotgun on this build. So there you go, guys, that's the build itself. Now this build absolutely melts, I can promise you. In PvP or PvE, 50% skill haste, you're going to be getting amazing crit damage, and you're going to be getting amazing crit chance. If I just quickly go on to my character here, I might be able to actually find out what his stats are, or I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a look. So as you can see, crit chance starts with 6%. If you couple that with Adept at 5 stacks, then you're looking at 41%. Crit damage of 116%. Pretty good headshot damage. And there you go, guys. This build is pretty strong. Obviously, Destructive does that a little bit of extra damage, although unfortunately not quite like what it was. But with Stamina being fixed in 1.8, they may actually make some changes to armor as well. They may actually increase the armor, which means Destructive will be actually more important in 1.8. So there you go, guys. Hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. And with that said, peace.